Well, thank you, everybody. I get the all-important job of entertaining everybody before lunch. So I promise to be back on time so you're not going to be late for lunch on there. But really, really excited because today is all about unlocking the value of social relationships in finance. My name is Ben Cathers. I'm a senior principal solution consultant at Hootsuite. I have the honor and responsibility of working with financial service clients all across the globe for the last 10 years and helping them deploy social media to hundreds, thousands. I've got clients with tens of thousands of users on social media. And before I joined Hootsuite, I was the head of social media for 3.5 years for an online brokerage in New York. So I've been in this financial services social media world for the last 15 years. And I want to first give you a quick little fun fact. Hootsuite's revenue is 100% inbound. And I'm going to give you a little bit today about the secret sauce that's behind what we're doing at Hootsuite. So first, I want to start with a quick survey question. An 85-year Harvard study said that the number one thing that makes us happy in life, they found the one thing that helps us live longer. Anybody have any idea? They're right. Thank you. Somebody read the book. So excellent. It is indeed relationships. Relationships are the core of what makes this powerful, what makes us happy. It's what keeps us going. And that's the opportunity that we have as financial services marketers in social media. And it really doesn't matter what industry you're in. You have to understand that being in the marketing business, you are in the relationship business. And where do modern relationships exist today? Social media. And that's where your connections that drive the business, that find the value to your activity, that's where it's scaled, that's where it's realized, and that's where results are happening. And I'm really excited because today's presentation will have all real-life examples of businesses generating more revenue because of social media. So you might want to ask, okay, what is the key to unlocking the value of our social relationships? It's understanding what makes a valuable relationship. As marketers in social media, it is critical to understand why our clients, our potential customers, want to build a relationship with us on a digital channel. So I want to first explore the most important relationship of all time, so we can a little dissect and understand where that's going in there. That's right, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. And as we know, this is probably one of the most exciting new modern examples of relationships that we have today. We have the NFL, and we have a brand new relationship that's happening with the Swiftie community. And yes, thank you, I love the cheers. And yes, there is a social media and business lesson to this. Let's look and dissect the journey of this relationship. It started first with a listening and a shared awareness of each other. The NFL, using social listening tools powered by Hootsuite, were able to go in and find that there were more and more women talking about the NFL because of the Taylor Swift thing than they've ever had in their digital history. And then they saw the first evidence. 63% more women, 18 to 49, watched the Chiefs Bears game than they did for the previous Chiefs game. So now we're listening to our audience. They are telling us, I am a new member of your audience. This is something that I am interested and excited about. So the second stage of a relationship, we have that awareness, we have that listening in there. But now, how do we become more meaningful? How does this become a two-way relationship? Well, and this is something I've learned now, has been married for a while, is that it's not all about you. So what did the NFL do? Normally, when you have the NFL pregame, before the game, they have all the scores, the highlights, and maybe have some analysis of what's going on. Instead, they spent 30 minutes dedicated to the Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift relationship. They heard that this is what their audience was looking for, so they responded and listening to that changed their programming because of what they heard out there. And what did we see? We see that the third level of relationship is significance. Once we built that trust, once the NFL said to the Swifties out there, we welcome you, we put it on our NFL social media handle and said that Taylor Swift was here. Once we showed you that you were welcome and wanted to be part of it, the other half of that relationship came in. Jersey sales for Travis Kelce went up over 400%. Jersey sales to women went over 200%. So by simply listening in to some of those simple trends, making a quick business adjustment, we were able to go in and see that relationship in there. So now we know about the journey of a relationship. And I'm not a relationship guru. We're not going to talk all about personal relationships. But back to social media. How can you as a digital marketer in financial services build more valuable relationships today on social? So there's 3 steps in that awareness journey. The first one is understanding your audience. Or as we like to say, good friendships, they start with great listeners. That's a key to any successful relationship. And that's the opportunity with social media, that information is there. All of that data, all of that insight is being proudly volunteered by your communities on a regular basis. Every single day, your customers go on social media to tell you your biggest needs and your biggest pain points. They are going in and taking time out of their day to respond and engage on your social channels, telling you exactly what they feel. And any marketer that doesn't do a digital media or social media listening strategy is simply sticking their head in the sand and pretending that doesn't exist. So my first actionable insight, and the first thing you can take home today to do, if you're not doing this already, is to listen to the key themes, content, and trends that are being said on your social channels and what people are doing. I'm going to give you a very basic but actual Hootsuite example. If you look at these are actual IG messages we got on X on Twitter where people were saying, we need Instagram carousel scheduling. We need Instagram carousel scheduling. It was the most requested theme on our social channels. Now, if you work in enterprise software, you know whenever a feature request comes in, we do a needs analysis, a customer validation, we put it into market, we test, we do a lot of things. But we eat our own dog food. We saw it constantly, over and over and over again. Instagram carousel scheduling, #1 feature request on social. We eliminated the rest of our general product development process and research. We did it. And what is the most used feature on the Hootsuite publisher? It's Instagram carousel scheduling. So just very easy, making a weekly report, which can be automated using Hootsuite, to go in and see those key trends and themes. That's going to give you some of that basic insights that are important for you. And why is this so important? The top 10% of your audience and brand champions make up the majority of your revenue. Those ones that are liking your content, engaging with your content, they are the ones who are working more and more with your brand. I work with a large international asset manager. All of their wealth managers are on social media. We were able to do a study and found that those that either interacted, liked, or clicked on an advisor's content were generally in the top 5% of the asset manager's total volume. So there is a reason why they go on social media. They go on there because they have an affinity with your brand. They want to tell you what they're saying, and we need to listen and understand that because they're the ones that are ready to respond with their wallets. And social media teams then gives you all of that social intelligence. So as we take some of that basic data, this now can feed product teams as we do at Hootsuite. All social listening data, if you ever make a complaint about Hootsuite, that's going to go right to our product team every single time. Your marketing teams, social data tells you the themes that you need for your content, what your audience is looking for. And your sales teams, knowing what to arm your sales team with. What are they supposed to be posting on LinkedIn? What are the themes that matter to us? What do they want us to talk about? I love to kind of say this right here, but it's like taking an open book exam with all the answers. It's all right there. It's whether or not do you choose to take all of that great social media data that's available out there or ignore it in there. And this is always a big one for my marketers out there, but all social intelligence data, so all the likes, the client comments, the engagement on your products, the feedback on your channels, that is all first-party data. So that's all data that you can put into BI tools, analysis, remarket, target, all there. So we know the death of the cookie is a very, very tough subject. I'm sure there's been a lot of panels and insights on there. That is not something that we have to worry about when using social media data. So let's go into some real-life examples. VMware, very simply, they made a poll on X and asked, what is it do you care the most about with AI? And guess what? This is their audience, very simply telling them, please produce more content about AI and privacy. What has VMware done in the last 2 months? 70% of their content has now been about privacy and AI. What has been their most engaging content? Privacy and AI. Something as simple as polling your audience is literally having them tell you, this is what I want you to talk to me about. If we go back to that relationship building stage, that is where we need to listen and adapt to what our customers are telling us on social media channels. This is probably one of my favorite examples. It's a little outside of finance, but it's a fundraising one. NC State University used Hootsuite for their fundraising day. So they have a big day every year, part of their initiatives where they're going in to raise donations. They saw on the last giving day that there were so many questions about mental health. How are we supporting student mental health? Where is these funds going for? What is the commitment to mental health? There's two things we could do on that. Sometimes we could just say, okay, these are just some odd questions and we're going to ignore that. Or we could listen to what the actual donors are telling you what matters. So what did North Carolina State University do? They made a whole big pledge next year about mental health. They had articles on their website, they had tweets, they had videos about how they were going to use this money to help the mental health of students. That's right, $34 million was raised, with half of that being attributed to mental health causes. So something as simple as listening to what people tell you during a fundraising day and giving them the content they want, that led to an extra $16 million raised. Just a couple quick, easy social listening tips for an overall $34 million fundraising day. That's awareness. We're at that first stage of that relationship. Think about if you just met somebody. We're in that couple first fun dates, we're getting to know each other. Now we need to get to that next stage. We need to understand that a healthy relationship is a two-way street. That's probably my biggest part when I got married, was learning all of that. So a great social media strategy, and what your job as a digital marketer and social is all about, is adding value every day to that relationship. Why? We're putting that away so we can extract that interest, those earnings, what we get from putting in that value later on. That is critical for us. Because why? Brands are selfish on social. The little sneak peek, and we're going to have some more insights from the Hootsuite 2024 social trends, but 40% of consumers feel that brands are too focused on themselves. It's all about me, 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 and not what I can help the customer or the potential prospect do. And in fact, over 50% of brands post about themselves and how great they are multiple times a week. I get it. I was a social marketer too. We're struggling for content. What am I supposed to post about if I'm not just posting about my products or about how great we are? We know this is really, really hard. When you look at the Google search trends, the number one most related topic to social media management is, how do I create great social media content? That's a number one Google search for social media manager issues. So we get it. It's hard. I just told you can't talk about yourself, but I told you got to talk a lot and you got to build great engaging content. So how do we do that? It's challenging. So one of the great things, and my quota, I have to say AI at least 5 times a day or my boss is going to get mad at me, so I got to say AI, AI, AI. But AI is in here to help you with writer's block. So one of the things that Hootsuite does with our Alley Writer tool is it actually takes your top performing social media content. So that's social proof. You've heard from your audience, this is my most liked content, my most engaged post, my most clicked on website post. And then we will, with one button, rewrite it for you. So take that social media proof, click on it, rewrite it, and get it regenerated. We can also do generative AI can improve your sales force. So one of the strategies I talk over and over again, I was just chatting with somebody in here, was how do I increase my LinkedIn audience? We can increase our LinkedIn audience by getting your sales team to post more and more on LinkedIn. How do we do this? Generative AI. One of the things, this is again our Alley Writer tool, is it could take any news article. So take an article from your blog, an article of thought leadership that your team has written, website content in there, and we will actually be able to go in and write you 3 different social media content based posts based on that link. So you can simply go in, take links, and have Hootsuite generate and build you your content for you that your sales team can easily post on LinkedIn. And we have tools like Amplify. Did you know that those sales team members that utilize social selling, they outsell 78% of their peers? So those that post on LinkedIn, that create LinkedIn engagements, that search on Twitter, that post on a Facebook business profile, they are the ones who are your top sales performers, and that is across every industry. I've seen that in insurance, wealth management. I've seen that in brokerage sales, institutional sales, my wholesalers. Those on social media sell more and make more money. And I have not had a client tell me yet that that has not been the case. Why? How many times do you want to engage with a brand? You might like it. But your employee personal networks, they generate 8 times more engagement. Yes, I can create as many posts as I want on my corporate channel for LinkedIn, create some great content and engagement, or I can have my employees posting on LinkedIn themselves, and that's the content that people want to engage with more. People are not going to like the XYZ financial company post. You should still do that. It's important. But they want to like their friend who's a broker there, or that salesperson that they had a relationship with. Those are the posts that generate more engagement than the corporate post. So take advantage of those employee networks. So financial services, my friends at Julius Baer, they used Amplify to enhance all of their different LinkedIn social selling program. They made it where their wealth managers all were given social media content using Amplify to post to their LinkedIn channel. And we know in financial services, we got to build up our LinkedIn presence in there. We got to build up more impressions and clicks. I'm sure that's a KPI for so many people. So that's a KPI for Julius Baer. They built an Amplify program, 300 users. They generated 5.3 million LinkedIn impressions, 5.3 million actual customer data that they were not able to get on other channels. They generated 12,500 clicks. That's 12,500 action-oriented posts from employees at Post that people wanted to click and learn more about Julius Baer's activity. That led to a large number of new account inquiries and leads. They estimated that was 160,000 pounds worth of ad value just from those clicks alone. And they ultimately got 4,600 posts shared on their personal employees, their employees' personal LinkedIn channels. That is powerful data. When you want to build a LinkedIn strategy, we could either have an unlimited LinkedIn ads budget or ask our employees to create posts using a tool like Amplify and be able to generate large amount of results at a very efficient cost. And I love this example because LinkedIn is becoming one of the primary lead channels for Julius Baer today, period. And Colliers, when we talk about real estate and finance, that might be a little bit of a little niche out there. They had similar numbers, 4.7 thousand employee posts. They had 9.5 million reach. We all know digital markets, how expensive that would be to get digital reach that matters. But this is actual reach to actual customers and qualified prospects. And yes, that all impressive and important social media impressions number, 229% increase simply by having an employee advocacy program on LinkedIn. So now we've increased our relevance. Now we've listened, we understand more, and now we're going to get to that significant part of that relationship. And that's when there is that mutual loyalty. Because your best friend, your partner, that's the person that's there for you most. That's where we get to that next stage of that social media relationship journey. So love this. This is anybody that's doing customer care or social engagement. We are sitting around waiting for a brand to respond. Today, 67% of all social media users have used social media for customer service. It is no longer a novelty. Over half of all social media users, which is in the billions range, have used social media at least once for a customer service issue. More importantly, they are expecting a response. 75% of them are expecting a response within 60 minutes. I want to give you a little example of a story that I love here. Alex Earl is an influencer on TikTok. She landed in Naples. She booked a room on Booking.com, but it looked like it was a scam listing. So she posted on TikTok, stranded in Italy, mentions Booking.com. The very next day, Airbnb, they see a post. They see that, they automatically put her in a room in Italy with a sweet villa. She posts all on TikTok about how much she loved it, what a great experience it is. We also saw a couple of other tour companies in there. Booking.com took them 3 days to respond. So in 3 days, their competitors all reached out, engaged with her, and turned a person with 6 million followers on TikTok into a massive advocate for Airbnb. Guess what? She booked on a fake Booking.com website. It wasn't even Booking.com's problem. But those 3 days it took them to respond, to internally check, to make sure it wasn't our fault, we swear, turned into a great opportunity for Airbnb and a really, really poor error for Booking.com, even if it wasn't their initial mistake. So 6 million views, 9,000 shares of a brand advocate loving Airbnb, and one positively hating on Booking.com. So quite simply, you need to be there. This is what our Inbox 2.0 tool is. It helps you be able to manage social engagements in the scales of thousands, hundreds of thousands. We help everybody with airlines, to large banks, to major credit card companies that are using us. Why does this matter? And this is the quote, if you want to take away, give that cool insight, give it to me on Twitter. I'll always take the credit, is trust is earned in drops, but it's lost in buckets. And that's the opportunity and the danger with social media. We could do all the right strategies, do everything right. One mistake can cause all of that to go away. But yet we have to keep constantly, every day, providing that value, so we can extract it later. Satisfied detractors become the most passionate supporters. 83% of B2B buyers, and this is in the financial services space as well, are willing to refer a product or a service to their peer that they're happy about. And 96% say that customer service is an important factor when they think about loyalty to a brand. And those strong advocates become a superpower because 9x more customers will trust a recommendation from a friend or family versus other form of advertising. Think about it. If your friend or family recommended a service to you, are you going to trust them? Or are you going to trust a billboard or an ad that you see on a website over them? That is important to make sure that they are happy. And if they are talking to us on social media, we need to make sure they're happy to build those advocates for our business. And I just love this one with Malia Hotels. If you ever check into a Malia Hotel, they will engage with you on social. You can talk to them on there. And over 10% of their annual revenue is driven by a social media interaction. So over 10% of their revenue-generating customers talk to them on social media. So it is critical when they message any branded Malia Hotel, message them on Instagram, Twitter, any of them in there is being distributed and brought right into Hootsuite to manage and engage with. So we got a couple of minutes left, and I promise you you're going to get to lunch on time. I want to ask you, is your company approaching social as a place to build valuable relationships? This is what I want you to take back to everybody in there. Have an honest conversation with yourself. Are you doing this as a place to build valuable relationships? And here's your checkbox. In awareness, do we know who the audience is that we're going after? Do we have social listening set up to go after them? Do we have the whys, be people are champions or detractors for us? And are we sharing these insights to the other part of the business, or are we falling into that trap of social media being a silo that we're not sharing that data to others in there? What do you think about relevance? Do we know what our customer pain points are, and are we addressing that on social? What's our content planning framework? Is it more about the customer and less about you? Is generative AI part of your planning process? Because we need that content and relationship every day. And we need to think about advocacy and social selling. Then ultimately, significance. Are we measuring social response time? Do you know how long it takes for you to average respond to a customer? Do we know what type of questions it takes longer? We need to answer that. Are we measuring ROI? And do we have an content creation strategy? So if so, great, pat yourself on the back. We can still help you there. But if not, it is important that you are setting up your organization to realize the business value of those relationships. And if not, customers might be feeling a little bit like this. I don't want to play a video right now because I feel a little dangerous, but this is the Taylor Swift saying goodbye, and that's how it's going to feel if we don't have a proper social strategy. So thank you for attending. One of the things I want to make exclusive and make available to everybody in here is you could use the QR code to get an exclusive sneak peek and early sign-up of the Social Media Trends 2024 Finance Report. It is officially launching November 14th. Will be the Social Trends Financial Report, but scan that link right now and we'll make sure that you're the first to get it. This has over 3,000 different marketers sharing their opinions on social media management, content strategies, finance, and this is all something that we want to make available to you, the attendees today. So with that, thank you, and if there's any other time for questions, happy to answer them right now. Oh, yep. Well, thank you. That was unexpected, but appreciated. Thank you. I know you don't want to be the one to delay yourselves for lunch, but we're here. I think we're great. Thank you.